God, it's chilly today. As much as I love these gloves, they are a faff to put on. "9 degrees. Put those on medium. Seat on medium. Yeah. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm not sure whether you can see that down here. I've got 5,845 miles on my bike. I would say this is a 6,000 mile review, but some want to kick off about it. Bloody pheasants. What I thought I'd do, instead of doing a standard 6-month ownership review, 6,000 mile ownership review, that kind of thing, I thought I'd do a video on the 5 main positives of owning this bike and the 5 main negatives of owning this bike. I'll probably break this up into 2 parts, if I'm honest, because otherwise, like usual with my ramblings, they end up being 40-minute long videos. So what I'll do in this video is I will do the 5 positives, and then in next week's video you'll see I will do the 5 negatives. Sorry if you were hoping this was going to be a really negative review telling you all the problems, but it's not going to be. First question that's on everyone's lips, nearly 6,000 miles in, have you had any problems? Absolutely none. It'll either have already gone up or it will be later on, but I'm going to do a video talking about the general problems about the bike, because I think there's a few teething issues that have gone on. So I will do a video about that, so stick around if you're interested for that. So like and subscribe and all those sort of things. I got this bike at the end of May. It's now end of November when I'm filming this. If you watch the channel regularly, you'll know of George. I said to him the other day that, quite frankly, this has been my best purchase to date. I absolutely love this thing. It just brings me so much pleasure. So first point and the first positive for this bike has to be the overall tech package that this comes with. For complete transparency, this is quite a well-spec'd bike. Oh, look at the fluffy doggy. No. I mean, it's high spec from factory regardless, but I've also added the tech pack, I've added the heated grips, the heated ergo seat and whatnot after buying it, like the better windscreen and whatever. So it is quite a high spec bike. I'll be completely transparent with you. On the road, for this current spec of bike, you're probably looking just shy of 17 grand. So it is an expensive bike, I'm not denying that. But the amount of tech that has got on this thing is just mind-blowing. The adaptive cruise, the radar cruise control is phenomenal for long journeys. The quick shifter, the blipper, hill hold control, the semi-active WP suspension that you can adjust in every which way you want, cornering headlights, just absolutely loaded with tech. Although, yeah, there's the argument to say that it's not proper biking anymore. As a bike to use daily, it's just lovely to have all of those little bits on it. It just makes for such a great experience to own for a bike that just does everything. God, it's really windy today. Number 2 on the list is the general looks and presence of the bike. I know that's very subjective, and I know some people won't like the look of it, some people will. Yes, okay, it's got an ugly face, we all know that. It's a bit grasshoppery, like I mentioned before, but I think it looks the absolute dog stanglies. The presence of the bike, like going into London, filtering through traffic, I never have a problem. Like, it just, the traffic parts like the Red Sea, everyone sees me coming. Every time I'm at a set of traffic lights, someone will come up next to me and just sit there staring at me, like staring at the bike, just giving it the like, ooh, 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 like. And then I'll get a tap on the shoulder and then just goes, oh, lovely bike, mate. The looks and the presence and the stance of it, I just think it looks purposeful. Number 3 is the usability and like the diversity of use in the bike. We're all aware it's an adventure bike, which is obviously arguably one of the most useful bikes in the market. Possibly a bit jack of all trades, but I think as a general bike it covers everything I want. It's got the touring ability, it's comfortable, it's got, like I said before, it's got the adaptive cruise, it's got plenty of grunt to lug you up hills and stuff if you're two up, or like two up with luggage. And then you get to your destination, you drop off all your luggage, stick it in sport mode, and absolutely hoon it, having that ability to sort of keep up with your mates on their sort of sportier nakeds. You stick it in rally mode, it wheelies everywhere. You stick it in off-road mode and it will handle off-road like a dream. Being able to use a bike for absolutely everything, this cuts the mustard every single time. I'm a bit gushy about it, aren't I? So coming on to number 4, and that is this engine. I know, everyone always goes on about it. This LC8 engine has got to be one of the most versatile engines out there. There is power absolutely everywhere in the rev range. So look, 5th gear here, I'm doing 4,000 revs. And there's so much grunt. It's very, very easy to sit at 85, 90 mile an hour when you're on the Autobahn, obviously, officer, but it will happily sit at 85 mile an hour for a prolonged period of time. I go in round Regent's Park most days where it's a 20 mile an hour speed limit, and it will happily do 20 mile an hour. I know some of the old bikes did not like doing that. They'd be searching, they'd be jumping around, and quite uncomfortable, to be fair. It's one of the reasons my dad got rid of his 50,000 mile 990, whereas this, it's just so much more refined. While we are on the subject of the engine, I've got to give a bit of a shout out for the noise. Granted, it's probably more the exhaust rather than the engine. I like this corner. It is a standard exhaust at the moment. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure whether there's a valve in the exhaust, but as soon as you get over sort of 5.5, it just sort of starts to sing. The noise is addictive. 5,500 RPM, and you're just banging up the quick shifter. It sounds so good. It does tempt you to do very naughty things, but it's worth it. My last point has got to be the rarity of them. Part of it's due to the fact that people are waiting a year to see how many problems there are, and I've only ever seen one other one of these on the road, which is actually at Bikestop, which is slightly annoying. When we went into Wales and when we went to Scotland, there were multi-stradas absolutely everywhere, almost more multi-stradas than there were GSs. Obviously there were a load of GSs, obviously there were a load of V-Stroms. It's just like every other bike was just a multi-strada, a GS, a V-Strom. Oh my god, this thing's so bloody quick. Every time I turn up, it's the only super adventure there, regardless of generation. Going into London, it's the only one I see. A load of you will be sitting there going, yeah, but it's only just come out, so shut up, Sam. And I get that. But even if you count the previous generation, as well as this generation, I've only seen a handful of them. It's quite nice to not have someone else with this same bike sitting next to you. I've done quite a lazy ride over here. We are coming up to a nice bit of road. I'll show you what I mean with that versatility. And the engine noise. Jesus. And I'm on the Anarchy Adventures as well. You would have probably been looking at me on this camera the entire time because there was a problem with the camera that's on my helmet. It just wasn't working for some reason. No idea why. Should we do a U-E and do that again? I think we might, you know. Oh, look at that U-E! Oh. Oh my god, I love this thing! Oh, that pop from the exhaust! You've got a bike that is this quick. This dialed. And then you can go and sit on the motorway, get 280 miles out of a tank. And then yeah, you go back to this. Warm rear end, warm hands, no wind really hitting my helmet apart from side wind because it's a windy day. If I carried on doing this, I'd be doing 60 mpg. Don't know what's up this way. Need I say more? Need I say more? Knocking on 6,000 miles in, and I still absolutely love this thing, as you can probably tell. One of the most important things I can say is every single time I get off this bike, whether that's commuting into work, whether it's nipping to the shops, doing a tour, or whatever I do on it, every single time I get off it, I've got a massive smile on my face. Do you need more of a reason to get a bike? No, I don't think so. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I'm knocking on 1,500 subs already, which is, considering I started the channel in lockdown, that's not bad going. If you've got anything you want to see, whether it's videos on this, whether it's a tour or like a place you want me to visit or you think I should visit, or even just like can I get on a new bike, let me know, stick it in the comment section below, and I'll happily try to fulfill your fantasies. Not the weird ones though. So thank you very much for joining me as always. I'll see you in the next video.